Hey, what's up? It's Stephen A. Williams, president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com. This is going to be a short video for all of you that say that I'm long-winded or whatever, but this is going to be a short video. It's about Midland Credit Management and other debt collector lawsuits that I'm seeing. Right now, I have about six of them that I'm working on, and we have been on a winning streak with them, but they have seemed to make some adjustments on one of the ones that I'm looking at. But every time that you see the door potentially close one way, you see it open another way. I want to make you aware that Midland was sued by the FTC, I believe, over their collection practices, and so they've stated that they will hear out the consumers to see if they will, if they're going to proceed with suing consumers. And one of the things that we're finding that we've always found is that people just don't respond, they don't answer because who wants to talk to a debt collector about a debt? But before I get into that, let me talk about what I'm starting to see happen. Number one, when a debt collector is trying to sue you in court, you have to respond to the court summons. If you don't respond to it, it's just like you're just saying, sticking your finger up to the court, sticking your finger up to them, and you're not going to get anywhere doing that. You're going to end up getting a default judgment. You have to answer each of the allegations. Now, you might be saying, well, what is allegation? What is how do I know what to respond to? Well, you're going to see these points in your complaint that'll be numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sometimes they'll have them all the way to 20. You must respond to each one of those, even if it just says that you're a resident of your county, because they must sue you in the county that you're a resident of. So you answer all of those, but when you get to specific parts about them owning the debt and about them having it assigned or that they purchased, whatever they're going to say, that's where you're going to have your response come back, where you're making them prove every part of the debt. Now, that's where number one, that's like one of the ways that we've been fighting. And another way that we've been fighting these is by making them specifically show in their affidavits that they get from the original creditor that they purchased the debt, is that they have to disclose well, number one, that the affidavits don't specifically show the person's name, doesn't specifically show the account number. So what I've seen recently with Midland is that they are uh, doing what's called an identification about the consumer debt or account. This is something that I have never seen before in any of the responses, and I believe that this has been added and it will be added moving forward with, especially with Midland, uh, because in all of my responses that we had wrote uh, to them, and we won all of them, is that we said that the affidavit that shows how they became in control of the debt, which is the chain of custody, they have to prove. They can't just come right out and say that they own the debt, and they have to show how they got it. It had only showed that they bought a bulk amount of debt on that affidavit. You can, if you have one, or you can look it up online, those affidavits only show that they purchased a bulk amount of debt. And so what we would always do is we would say that it does not specifically say the client's name on there. It does not specifically have a full account on there. You're just saying, you just typed up a letter, had an affidavit signed, had some nice words on there, but it does not specify the person who you are suing in court, that their debt was purchased, that their account number was purchased. Now they might include some other documentation, but that documentation it doesn't match with the affidavit, because the affidavit says that they purchased. The other information just says that they have information about you. So then that's where we came back around and we said, well, show us where I signed, the person who's getting sued, that you can have access to my personal information. because the affidavit doesn't say that. It doesn't have anything pertaining to me. The information that you have that shows the list of all of these accounts and it's blotted out, redacted, and it has the last four of an account. I want to know that full account number, but also how did you get permission to view my personal information? You can't refer to the affidavit because the affidavit did not specifically say my name on there. So what I've seen them do uh, in one that's recently is it says identification about the consumer debt or account. And what they're doing is they're putting the uh, full name of creditor, full name of defendant, and the last four of the account. This is what they're adding in there. But when I look at this, when I look at this information on this document, it is still not a document that is from the original creditor. So this is not from the original creditor. So it is not like a document that's showing. This is something that they put together for themselves to make it look better in front of the court. This is not the document that they uh, want. It's not the document that they're trying to get the impression that it is. But they're adding this in there because uh, if they've been, they've gotten a lot of responses that were prepared by my office, and we specifically wanted them to show in an affidavit that it had the defendant's name, defendant's account. So this is a document that they're putting together to, I don't want to say mislead the court, but to make it look like this is an affidavit from the original creditor. This is not an affidavit from the original creditor. Now, another thing that I saw that is beneficial to everyone that is watching is that I saw in this summons that it says plaintiff attempts to exclude consumers from its collection efforts where the plaintiff believes those consumers are facing extenuating circumstances or hardships that will prevent them from making any payments. And they go into all these different options that they would like to make, but basically when you have extenuating circumstances, you could potentially have everything dismissed and where they're just not going to come after you for the debt. Remember, they're only paying pennies on the dollar for it. So it's something that you should keep in mind. But they never get to that they never really get true answers to that because number one, uh, when they call people, they're mostly putting pressure on them to find out how they're going to pay. They're not really giving you that option. They not believing you. They're not listening to you. So you have to go the extra step and you have to actually send this in writing, send it to the attorney or whoever is handling it. They'll usually put the attorney that is handling your specific case. And or if you get that letter from the debt collector, you can, and it's past the back and forth that I always teach you to do with the statute of limitations, the debt validation. Now you're working on if they're going to continue trying to sue you, or eventually trying to take you to court to sue you. You can write them a letter notifying them that you're either unemployed, lost income. This is a very vague statement that they're making with the extenuating circumstances or hardship. That could be medical issues. That could be something due to what happened with COVID. It could be, loss of a business. It could be any of those. And if any of those types of things have happened to you, it would be worth at least attempting to provide them that information. But you should do it in writing. You should send that certified mail because if you're talking to an agent on the phone that is probably only getting paid commission or, they get wages plus commission on collecting, they're going to be more leaning towards pushing your account into uh, going to court. All right, so if you need help with your credit or if you have any issues where you have debt collectors trying to sue you in court, We can write your responses to the court summons. The link is below this video. If you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. If you need your credit reports and your scores, go to your number 3scores.com, and there's other links for other services that we do provide. Thank you for your time. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, ask your questions, and post your comments, and hit the notification bell so you can get a notification of new videos that I release. Thank you.